Good morning. Welcome to day 18 of Girl Wash Your Hands. Last night was so wonderful to get to share these gifts and skills and access to these tools that I have been working with for all these years, and to get to share it with a group of women as amazing as the Junior League was so great. I'm so glad that I got to come out of my comfort zone and take a dive into technology. Gosh, that light, there we go. It'll go away, I promise, here soon. Let's get over here. And anyway, so stepping out of my comfort zone and getting on Zoom and providing this content was definitely out of my comfort zone. So much so that I'm driving to work this morning and I'm thinking, gosh, that was so great. And how I want to do it again and again and again, in whatever capacity that I can. And then the craziest memory came to me. I mean, to the point where by the time I'm done with this, it's just, again, another awareness that I have that we're all continuing to grow. So the year is 2000. Gosh, it's 2020 right now. I can't move this anyway to where that gorgeous sun is not right there. Anyway, here, I'll just do that. So the year is 2000. I am getting ready to graduate from college at K-State. My parents are in the beginning stages of what will end in a catastrophic, tragic divorce. And so I did what any logical child would do, and I moved to the happiest place on earth, Walt Disney World. And I was signed on there for their college program. And those of you who know all about Disney cast members, you know that usually what happens is you'll wear your name tag that has your name on it, and then underneath it, it'll say what city and state you're from, which is really great because then as the guests come to Disney and they see where you're from, it's always a fun conversation starter, especially if they've traveled there, they have family there. It just sparks all sorts of opportunities to connect with the guests of Walt Disney World, so that was great. Well, the year I got to go for the first time, I ended up having a great career with Disney, but my very first experience there was in the year 2000, and so they were celebrating the millennial celebration of Walt Disney, and so they changed our name tags, and the name tags now would list our most magical memory. And because I had never been to Walt Disney World prior to getting to go there on my internship with the college program, I hadn't had a lot of magical moments within Walt Disney World. And so on my college program internship, I was selected to be part of the merchandising group, which was merchandise sold within the theme parks. And so at that time it was Disney MGM Studios, and I was working in the Princess Shop, and the Princess Shop was just outside of the Little Mermaid, which is an attraction that is actually still there today. And I got to work in that shop, surrounded by princess dresses and everything a princess would ever want and need. And so anyway, now we've got the sun on this side. Everything's gonna be just fine because the message is still, gosh, there. Okay, so anyway, I am at the Princess Shop, and they come over one day, and I'm not sure what had happened, but one of the cast members at the animation gallery was no longer going to be able to work there. And so they invited me to go over and work there. And I must start off by saying that the wardrobing at Walt Disney World has always been one of the things that we like to talk about. It's a fun topic of discussion, and I will say what those people in wardrobing did with a pair of polyester pants and a long sleeve dress shirt with a little bow tie would just blow your mind. Anyway, of course I went to the animation gallery. This is the place where hundreds of thousands of dollars of artwork is painted and presented there for sale. And so because it was the millennial celebration, they hosted a Disney artist in there to hand paint carousels, ones that were specific to the millennial celebration 2000, and they would sit there all day and they would paint these carousels and they would sell them. And I can't wait to know at one day what that carousel is going to be worth. But if you're not familiar with the word carousel, Google it, because in animation, every different scene is a carousel. Like if you had those books and you flipped through them really quick and each page goes, that's how you see the cartoon. I will not do that again. Anyway, each of those individual pages or scenes is a carousel, and they would hand paint them. So imagine the value of a Disney movie and an individual carousel being hand painted by an artist. It was just beautiful. However, I was 20 and I didn't understand necessarily the true appreciation for the art. So now here we are that I'm waiting to create my magical moment, whatever that needs to be, and we needed to let them know soon. And this particular day, this couple came in and handed me an envelope and said, we are expecting, we're having a baby, we're pregnant. Here inside this envelope, we don't know what's inside of it, but what you're gonna find out is whether our baby is a boy or a girl. And so we are going to go and choose a Tarzan carousel and a Little Mermaid carousel. So that way, if the baby's a boy, you're going to ship us Tarzan. If the baby's a girl, you're going to ship us Little Mermaid. And I was like, wow, 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 wow. Like first of all, I'm 20 and I'm a mom now. So this story means a whole lot more to me now that I'm a mom than it did when I was 20. But there's more where that came from. So they go and they choose their carousels, and then I told everyone, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, look what just happened. And they all were like, this is fantastic. So they leave. I opened the envelope and I mailed them, shipped them to their home, The Little Mermaid. Now, this was such an important magical moment that of course it landed on my name tag. And so when people would ask me, what's so special about The Little Mermaid? And I would tell that story, and I would bring such joy to so many people by sharing that story with them. It got word around to Disney producers who were going to create a commercial of cast members sharing their most magical moments. And I was selected to be one of those people that got to share that moment. And I made it all the way. I made it all the way to the day of filming, and I got there in front of the camera and I just froze. I couldn't calm myself down enough. I was so nervous and I was so petrified of being in front of that camera that I don't even think that they were able to gather enough data from what I wanted to say about the story to make it as good as it could have been, because I was afraid. I was so far out of my comfort zone that I couldn't see past the fear of that to be able to share something that would be so joyful for so many others. And I find it interesting, 2000 was 20 years ago. But here's what's great about today. I'm here today, and that story is still just as real as ever. And 20 years later, I'm going to tell it to you today. So keep creating those magical moments. It's okay for all those opportunities that may have been lost before, but you're still here now, and you can still share your skills and gifts and talents with the world. But you could just be like me, a little bit of a late bloomer. But anyway, I'm here. There's the story. I hope that it brought you as much joy as it was originally intended to do all those years ago. Have a beautiful day. Much love to you, and I'll see you tomorrow.